So and it's once again, this is being recorded and I put this on YouTube. So if you have any personal information you don't want to, in the public, you can wait until after I stop the recording and we can get into that. I don't want anybody feeling like I, use their information or, or I put something out there that they didn't want in the public. I want to make sure that everybody is comfortable. This is a safe space and we can have a conversation. If it's something that you would rather hold private, as Brother Milton said, I am always available after this, and I will cut the recording off before we get off, just in case people have questions that they don't mind asking amongst the group, but they don't want to ask in public. So I talked today. I sent the email or the text message out about the way you share your dreams, right? So I have been a victim of talking too damn much, where I would feel like, oh man, this is what I want to do. And I share my dreams with somebody. And a lot of times you share your dreams with people that don't understand what it is to dream, or people who have dreamed before, but they gave up on their dreams and they're going to talk you out of your dreams one way or another one. Or they say something slick, or let me know how that work out for you. Anything that's not positive is definitely something that you shouldn't want to hear as an entrepreneur. So, who you should share your dreams with are people who can help you to bring your dreams to reality, and it's also people who could inspire you to pursue that dream. So, a lot of us are we are experience in our entrepreneurship. So, like Brother Milton, he's been doing what he's doing for what, like 2 decades now, and he's very experienced in his entrepreneurship, and he's embarking on the digital marketing and different things like that. But um, you can't have a conversation with everybody, right? Some conversations you leave less motivated than you went in, and that can be really dangerous as an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you need all the motivation you can get. You need things like this. You need to be able to have conversations with other entrepreneurs who understand what it is to dream, who understand what it is to stay motivated, and who know what you need to get to the next level. You cannot share your dreams with people who've already given up, right? And then you're looking for them to give you motivation and some type of inspiration, things that they can't even get themselves, right? So that could be a mate, it could be a brother or sister, it could be a coworker. Let's say you was working a 9 to 5 and you telling them, yeah, man, I just want to start my business. I want to get my business off the ground. But these people don't understand that they can't even get to work on time. They can't even follow basic instructions. So when you tell them something that's a little heavy, it's already beyond their understanding. So the response that they give you is not something that you're going to leave that conversation with inspiration from. It's something that's going to carry you and hold you down, right? So even when you are dealing with a mate, right? When you're dealing with a mate, if you have a mate that's working a 9 to 5, you can have certain conversations with them and it's fine. That's your mate. That's a person that you plan on spending the rest of your life with. But if a person has not embarked on an entrepreneurial journey or have not seen someone embark on an entrepreneurial journey, they don't know how to support you as an entrepreneur. They can love you as a person and they can support you as a person. But as an entrepreneur, it is a whole different mindset that you bring into the relationship. And a person that's working a 9 to 5 won't understand you being up at certain times. They won't understand you doing research instead of watching a football game. They don't understand your phone being on at certain hours of the night and you having to take client calls. I take client calls all throughout the day because I have clients that reach out from California, right? It's 7 o'clock here, but it's I mean, it's 10 o'clock here, but it's only 7 o'clock in California. I'm in Detroit. So you end up in a certain type of conversation that you're always explaining yourself, right? I have VAs that they are on a whole different time, right? So I have a VA that I talk to like regularly. I was just texting them right before I got on here. actually about Mr. Milton site. So I was just texting him before I got on here, and it's it's like 9 o'clock there, right? So come later this evening, maybe at like 10 o'clock, it's early there. It's like 7:30 where they are, right? It was like 10 o'clock one time, 10:30, and we was like corresponding back and forth, and he was like, I'm getting my son ready for school. So I have to have certain conversations with him either late at night or early in the morning, because come 3 o'clock, he sleep. Like I don't have conversations with him during the day because he sleep. But somebody that has never had that problem don't understand that. So if I'm texting at 11 o'clock at night, and you over there wondering who I'm texting, and we getting into it, or who you texting at 11 o'clock at night? Oh, I'm texting my VA. Yeah, right, right. So this is what I'm saying about having to share your dreams with people who don't understand it, right? It's just a part of growing as an
Hmm.
entrepreneur. It's just understanding who to have certain conversations with. And sometimes you can learn that the hard way. You can learn that because you had a conversation with someone. Nobody in my family got a, well, I have brothers and sisters on my father's side that have MBAs, but nobody on my mother's side had an MBA. So when I started talking about going to school and getting, my MBA, um, it was beyond some of them, right? And they just was like, "Oh man, what you need to go to school for? You already making money, or you already doing this." And that was when I learned, like, every conversation is not for every person. It wasn't just that part of my family; it was friends who, they see that I do pretty good for myself already, and in my business, I don't need a MBA to further my business. That was a personal goal of mine. But having the wrong conversations with the wrong people could be detrimental to everything that you hold dear to you as far as business goes. So I have a friend, and he has a woman that he deal with, and he been dealing with her for like the past 7 or 8 years. And his woman, basically every quarter, she want to do something different. Every quarter, he told me, I don't know her that well, but he told me like every quarter she want to do something different, basically. Like she might want to be an astronaut next month. She may want to do this, and he support her, right? He support her. He love her, so he support her. And I had to have a heart to heart with him because this is my guy. I don't know her, and I seen her for the BS she was on, right? And I told him, I said, bro, you wasting your time, and you wasting your money because you paying for stuff that she just out the blue want. Like, oh, I want to be a hairdresser. You over there paying for beautician school. Oh, I want to do this, and you over there paying for it. And I'm like, my God, she really don't want to do anything. She don't really want to do anything. That's why she's doing everything. Because if you really wanted to do something, you lock in and you focus on that. She will literally go from I want to be a beautician to I want to be a school teacher. Like this is the type of stuff she'll do. Maybe 2, 3 times a year, she got something else going on. Any hustle that she see on the internet, she want a part of it. Oh my God, I seen this ad for drop shipping. I want to learn drop shipping. And he like, oh, how much is the course? Oh, it's $500. Here you go, go get the course. This year she wanted to do taxes. That's how I ended up having a conversation. She wanted to do taxes. I say, okay, he didn't pay for her to learn taxes. She want to join my tax team. I put her on the tax team. All she did was her taxes. That's it. And wanted me to look at that. Can you look over this and see? And I had to tell him, like, my gosh, she don't want to do anything for real. Right? But him being a supportive partner that he not looking at it like, dang, I just paid $1,500 last quarter or two for whatever you wanted to do. I'm telling you, she will wake up tomorrow and say she want to be a truck driver. I want to be a truck driver. He paying for CDL school. Here you go. He go to 500 for CDL school. Let me know if you need anything else. When you run across people like that, you got to run in the other direction. If you plan on succeeding as an entrepreneur, it takes focus, it takes strategy, it takes consistency, determination. It takes you locking in and saying, this right here is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. I understand that when I talk to entrepreneurs, I don't talk to entrepreneurs like I'm big bro. I don't talk to entrepreneurs like I'm daddy or I'm cousin or brother. I talk to entrepreneurs like I'm one of them. I understand you as an entrepreneur. I understand what you're going through. I go through the same things. I understand that if you are not prepared for the next step, you can plan big, but if you are not prepared for the next step, what you got planned at the end will never happen. I understand that. But for somebody who is not an entrepreneur, they don't understand that. To them, it's not moving fast enough sometimes. To them, you could have did X, Y, and Z with that $1,000 you gave JP1. To them, you could have did this or you could have did that. Or see, we could have went on vacation. See, we could have did. Nah, I didn't want to go on vacation. I wanted this new website. I needed it. No, I didn't want to go on vacation. I needed a new lawnmower for my lawn service. As an entrepreneur, you make sacrifices, and the sacrifices are different. I had a guy when I first was doing music like real hard. I had a guy who wanted to start a record label with me. He had money, some money at the time, and he would literally go buy like his girlfriend or not his wife, like one of his little side pieces. He would buy them a Rolex and then tell me I couldn't shoot a $2,500 video this week. And I was like, that's kind of not how music is put out. So what I did was I killed that contract or that label that we started together. I was like, look, man, I'm gonna just do it myself. Even though at the time my money was maybe a quarter. I don't know what his pockets was like, but at least a quarter or less of whatever his money was, right? It could have been a tenth. I don't know. But I definitely wasn't as well off as he was. But if his net worth was $1 million, but he was only willing to spend $20,000 on music, and I had $100,000, but I was willing to spend $50,000 on music. It was no point in me giving him 50% of anything. You got to go all in. And the people around you, unless they're entrepreneurs or been around entrepreneurs, they don't understand that. They don't understand what going all in is. They don't understand that I've been all in and took a L. I've hustled up on something and took a L where people just didn't do anything that they promised me they would do. But somebody that's not an entrepreneur will not understand that. They won't understand that. I've maxed out credit cards to get software before. Like it was, oh, we having a sale. What's usually $99 a month. You can get this week for part, like for one payment. You know what I mean? So what it was $97 a month. You can get it for a lifetime for $1,000. I've lost money like that, where I bought something and then didn't even use it. But I've learned that it's always growing pains. So what I did was I took that money that I basically just threw out the window because I didn't really use the software. And I was like, look, the next time I get software, I'm gonna look for this. It's a lesson. But somebody that's not an entrepreneur looking at it,
Yeah.
you just lost $1,000. You just threw the money away. You know what I'm saying? So that's the gist of that. Welcome, King Leonard. Basically, all I was talking about was having the right conversations with the right people, and not letting your family members and friends uh, kill your motivation, kill your drive, right? With their conversation. Sometimes they don't even know what they're saying or they're doing. For you to tell somebody about your dreams and for them to say, let me know how that work out, that's like one of the most hateful, spiteful things somebody could say to an entrepreneur. It's terrible. But you can't control anybody's reaction. If somebody has not realized any type of dream that they've had in their life, then you cannot expect them to tell you how to do anything with yours. You gotta have the right conversations with the right people. Anybody got anything they want to add to that? Y'all ain't gonna get on here and act dead to me. Y'all got me messed up.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
How you doing, man? I'm super blessed.
Wonderful, wonderful. I definitely agree with communicating with the right people. I believe that communication rules the nation,
Hmm.
and you have to have like-minded people who believe in your process, but also people who understand your soul intent, right? So when they understand your soul intent, and what I'm saying your soul intent, that means having a background of where you come from, which gives an idea to how much intensity and forethought you've given in the process of moving towards your dreams. So you need to have people who know you,
That makes
who
sense.
not only know you, but who really understand you, right? So that's important to have people who really understand you as an individual. Then they can understand your intensity and your mindset in terms of getting things accomplished. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Your reason, this is what I'm saying, your reason why. When people around you understand your reason why, they can on board and they can give you the necessary counsel, people resource, financial resource. They can point you in the direction that you need to go because they understand your actual reason why you're doing what you're doing. People want to know why you're doing it.
Most definitely. And the why is more important than the what a lot of times, right? Because sometimes the why is what's is like your vehicle, it's what's gonna carry you. Um, I read that start with why, right? I read that maybe about 7 or 8, maybe like 8 years ago. And it make you realize that if you don't have a purpose, you can go and do anything for money. Yeah, I'm gonna go open up the sandwich shop. You open up the sandwich shop, then you look and it's $100 more over there than you over there. Then it's $50 more over there and you over there. And you look up, you really haven't found a why. You just chasing a dollar. You just chasing a dollar. And once that's over with, you unhappy, so you chasing the next dollar. And you can find success in that sometimes. Some people have the Midas touch. Some people, they can literally start a business and they found success so much they like, look, this ain't gonna work out because of this. Let's make some changes. Let's put this program together, or let's do this over here so that we have a higher chance of actually surviving whatever the business is. And that come with experience. Like the more experience you have, you've seen it all before, you've done it all before, you can really say, okay, I know not to start this business without a website because the last time I did that and I couldn't even run Google ads or I couldn't even do this. And now, let me go do that.
Well, I got something to say.
Eh,
Hi, guys.
uh,
So I'm Priscilla, and
Hello.
I am currently a salon owner, product maker slash mentor, all of the things. Right? I'm an entrepreneur. So, um, like you're saying, you have to be conscious of the people that you're talking to, and that's even if they understand your why, because sometimes they understand your why, but they don't understand entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is a whole different ball game. So I do speaking engagements all the time, and I speak to people of many ages, and The misunderstanding isn't in the industry. It isn't in like the hustle of what they want to do, but the misunderstanding always lies beneath the entrepreneurship piece. So entrepreneurship isn't like anything else that you will ever do in your life because it has to be in you and not on you. So when he says that people that actually work a job won't understand that, because all of us as entrepreneurs have worked for somebody before. It just didn't work out. It didn't go, it didn't align with our mindsets. And we always had a desire to look for more. And we always had a desire to be more independent. And we always had those same thoughts throughout working for someone. Even if you still work for someone now, you're always thinking about your entrepreneurship lane or goal that you're trying to accomplish. And the reason I say this is because I have a cousin that I looked at as my best friend, my cousin. We went to school, high school, middle school and up together. And he knows my whole backstory. I'm a teen mom. He knows all of that. He's watched me start and close multiple businesses. And recently he told me, we had a conversation. The first conversation went south when he told me, you're doing too much. He said, you're doing too much. And I thought about it. I said, doing too much. And I actually came home. I was laughing at the conversation, and everything is kind of like light when we talk because we're like, we both have good sense of humor and personality. So when he said, you're doing too much, I laughed it off. I came home, go to social media, and I see a post that says, the person that says you're doing too much, it is not for you, it's for them. So I said, wow, I got that message. Then next thing you know, I took a L trying to hire a marketing team once again. And I spoke to him that morning. I was like, yeah, it's just a lot going on. And I'm so frustrated. I was like, because I'm tired of taking L's. I was like, sometimes it makes me just want to give up and just focus on the salon and let the products go. And at this time, I'm discouraged. I'm feeling down. I just took a L. And at that point, I was just venting because I knew that this is somebody that knows me. They know my hustle. They know my intentions. They know my background. And this is supposed to be not only my cousin, but my best friend. And his response was, yeah, you sure have been taking a lot of L's, and I get it. If it ain't bringing me no money or bringing you no, he said, if it's not bringing you no money, I get it. I mean, you make all your money off the salon anyway, so you might as well. And when he said it, it was like a red flag. And to be honest, that was my last conversation I had with him to this day because I snapped in a way that I didn't even expect to snap. Because, like you said, people that understand your why, your intent, and they see what you've gone through, they supposed to be like, we have a sense of understanding from them. We have an entitlement to their understanding because of those things. And it doesn't always work that way because entrepreneurship is a whole different animal. A loss is a part of it. So the fact that I'm expressing my frustration wasn't for him to say, oh, give up or quit. He didn't know what to say. So I think the bottom line was it wasn't his fault that he didn't know what to say because he doesn't have an entrepreneur mindset. He tried and he failed at it multiple times, and he's back working for somebody. And that's his train of thought. Like, hey, that's his system, that's his mindset. And with an entrepreneur, I could quit today. But if I go work for somebody, I would never be happy. He's happy, and he talks as if he's happy in his situation after giving up a business that's still up and running. That was his partnership twice, not once, but twice. And I'm doing it all solo. I carry everything on my back. And whenever I get frustrated and I'm venting, it's not because the thought of giving up, I'm just venting because those are my feelings, those are my emotions. So you cannot just talk to anybody. And ultimately, it led me to just snap on them. And I said, you know what? I said, that's why I need to only talk to entrepreneurs. But that's not true, right? We know that, right? That's not only true. We don't only need to talk to entrepreneurs, but that at the end of the day, when I'm confiding and I'm in that slump, then yeah, that probably wasn't the best person to talk to. So it doesn't matter if they know your why. It doesn't matter if they see your background or they know your full intent. And he knows I'm not a quitter. Okay. So, I mean, he knows all of this. And I trust his feedback and I trust his opinion. But ultimately, like I said, I haven't spoke to him since then, not because I felt like I was wrong, but I did feel like I didn't have to go off the way I did. But yet and still, I just rather leave it where it is right now until I get out of my slump, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but even when you get out of slump, right? Friends have different things that they're there for. So you may have a friend that's a drinking buddy, right? You got a drinking
Mm-hmm.
partner. You might have a
Mm-hmm.
drinking partner. Bam, that's your drinking partner. Y'all, you know when it's time to drink and have a good time, they know where the best bars at. They know where it's a good atmosphere, where the DJ play the best music, where you safe. You know you're gonna get to your car in one piece. Ain't nobody gonna be out there stealing your car stereo or your stuff out your car. So you have friends for different things, right? When you talk about your dreams and aspirations, you need to have certain friends that you have those conversations with. It don't necessarily mean that they not a good friend. They may be great for other things. They may help you move. They may be good to talk about your favorite shows. They may also be, they may help babysit the kids, pick them up from school. So you have friends that you have in certain situations, and they're great at being friends in that moment and for that type of thing. But when you have dreams and aspirations, you have to talk to friends who have dreams and aspirations and things that they're acting on, or it can be discouraging, right? You don't have to lose a friend. You have to put the relationship into perspective and you have to put them where they need to be as a friend, right? Because you're looking for
Right.
something from him that he can't provide to himself. He can't motivate himself.
Right. And I guess the main thing is recognizing this way before it gets too much. And the thing about it is it had already became too much for me
Mhm,
because he would make empty promises or gestures. And this is the person, I'm just going to be honest, I don't have a lot of friends.
mhm,
And the reason I don't is because of this. Like while they're hanging out, I'm somewhere focused on the next move,
mhm,
or I'm somewhere working, trying to increase my revenue, or whatever the case may be. I rarely hang out. I do networking events, things like that now that I have to make time for. But other than that, everything is mostly business. Like my conversation is business. Like,
mhm.
and a lot of people don't be on that. Sometimes, it could be a lot. And I get that. So a lot of my time is dedicated to my businesses. But that is one person that literally calls my phone every day just to say, hey, what's going on? What's up? Yeah, we can laugh, we can talk. But in the conversation, you want to talk about what I have going on because that's all my conversation is about outside of the jokes that you tell. So now I felt as though you know what's going on. I offered assistance in areas, never you never fulfilled those services. And then now I already had started feeling like, what is the point? Like, are you just being nosy? Like I had already started questioning his motives. And so when that conversation happened, I think that's when I mean, I wouldn't say I lost them. I'm just taking a break from the relationship. But like I said, I think the most important thing to say in this situation is knowing is half of the battle, right? Knowing is half of the battle. So with this actual webinar or this meeting, it's very much needed because as entrepreneurs, this conversation needs to be had because knowing is half the battle. So now that we understand that entrepreneurship is a whole different ball game, it's a whole different lane. It's not for the weak. Okay. So a lot of people won't understand it. We'll recognize way ahead of time the people we need to be talking to and the ones we don't. So I think that this conversation is very important to be had, being that I actually just went through this and I see that I should have recognized it long time ago and started to find a solution before I got to the point where I snapped. You get what I'm saying? And I'm sure that I'm not the only entrepreneur out here that has gone through this, because we don't have that understanding when it comes to entrepreneur and entrepreneur's mindset. So that's my word for you today, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to add into the conversation? Carl, his iPhone is unmuted. Talk to me, Carl. What's up?
Yeah, sorry, I was kind of in the middle of finishing up with a customer, but I wanted to get to, I guess, partake in the meeting and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't have any at this point in my journey, um, have any like I've already got to the point to where uh, cutting certain people off from certain conversations. Knowing, not saying, okay, well, obviously you have as well. Everybody here has gotten to that point
Hmm.
to where, okay, I can conversate with this person about that, but I get into talking about anything. So my business is HVAC. So obviously talking about numbers, talking about net margin, gross margin, and those different things is way above most people's understanding, because they don't, n- not that it's a bad thing to get somebody giving you a check every Friday, but they don't understand when you're out there and you're depending on yourself to be able to keep your lights on. So I don't have those conversations with people already getting to that point. Just like, okay, well, they might give me some information. Sometimes it might be good information,
Hmm.
but I would say for the most part, because they don't have the understanding of what it takes, they're just, and it might come off as judgmental in a lot of ways. Oh, you should be doing this. Well, okay, how are you gonna tell me what I should be doing or what I did or didn't do when you don't really understand what it takes? So like even my wife, uh, because she also handles my phone calls, or will be handling my phone calls, is trying to get her to understand why I do certain things, or why I okay, we're setting this up and we're doing this or going with this particular product because of this. So where she might have an idea, we shouldn't do that because it doesn't do well. Okay, well, you gotta start from somewhere. Uh so I mean, I don't know, it might seem like I'm rambling because I'm driving at the same time, but
No, it makes sense.
uh
You make it sense.
I mean, but that's pretty much just having that understanding of, like you've been guys been talking about, having you got certain people for certain things. Like I have a business coach. Uh, and obviously, that's somebody I can go to. They've been there, done that, as far as sold his business in the HVAC world. So having a conversation with him is not like having a conversation with my wife, who I have to explain to her. Okay, well, will this motor cost this amount? Now I'm shooting for X and X percent on profit, so I have to do the numbers this way. That's a teaching method, as opposed to somebody who's already been there, done that. And
Hmm.
they could say, well, no, you should do it this way. And it's not, I don't feel like it's arrogance, because they've done it and they were successful with it. I'm not looking at her like, oh, well, she doesn't know, because like I said, sometimes she can give me good information, but I'm only going to ask her questions pertaining to things that obviously, because she works a full-time job. So she's a customer service uh, manager for they sell like software for schools and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Uh, all the curriculum for the I'm not quite sure what word to use to kind of explain it to you, but basically she's like the go between her company and superintendents for big school districts. So she's working with superintendents, she's working with the
She's the
different
liaison.
right. So her job is customer service. So okay, when it comes to that type of deal, I know, okay, that I can go to her for those things, or anybody else that's in my circle, which I try to keep my circle small because I don't need the influence of, the phrase, you still got that little business, when it's kind of a backhanded compliment. Like, yeah, I compliment you for doing that, but you know,
Your little business. Sometimes your little business making a lot more than they little job.
I'd say 90% of the time, but
Yeah.
to them it's not, because they don't understand. They don't dream big, they dream small. In a sense, when it comes to those type of things, and me, I'm not the type of person to. I've mastered my skill, so it's only right for me to be able to profit off of myself.
Yep. And
So
they gonna be
I
the
can't particularly go somewhere. I can't
no, you
particularly go somewhere and go punch somebody's clock, and I know more about doing this business than they do.
yep. And a lot of times, so
So
you have specialized conversations where you talk to somebody like your mentor. He know HVAC. You can talk to him about different things within the industry, and then you have general conversations where it's just about the pursuit of your dream or your mindset or goals or anything like that. You have general things. So sometimes the conversation, like if I talk to one of my friends is a chef. I don't like cooking. You know what I'm saying? I don't like cooking, but I don't have to talk to him about what degrees to put this meal on or how to dice up these vegetables or none of that. I don't need to have that conversation with him. I don't need to have a conversation with you about different key points of HVAC and what temperature to do this at or how to, put this in. I don't know none of that. But when you have a conversation about dreams and aspirations, that's a conversation that anybody that have dreams and aspirations can partake in.
right,
You see what I'm saying? So just like your lady, she's not gonna understand. Your wife won't understand some of the things that you have going on because they are specialized in, they are of specialized knowledge. General knowledge is where we have a problem at. If you cannot have a conversation with somebody with general information like pursuing a goal, principles, things like that, then those are conversations that you have to be aware of because you cannot change another person's attitude or their mindset or anything else. You have to be aware of, okay, this person is here. I learned a lot of this in going to school and not from school, but from marketing, right? So I always make the point of you target specific people to do specific things, right? The same way you don't see Lexus ads on Jerry Springer show. Most of the people watching Jerry Springer can't afford a Lexus.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
pointless. That's ad space you don't got to waste your time with, right? You don't sell pork hot dogs outside of a Nation of Islam convention. Even if they eat pork, they're not going to eat it when they brothers watching. Right? You bring you some good chicken, maybe a little bit of beef, but you don't sell pork sausages outside of a Nation of Islam convention. It's just about knowing your clientele, knowing your personnel, right? You gotta know, like I said, this person is great for drinks and laughter. Maybe they boxing fans. Y'all can watch the fight together, but you keep the conversation right there. Man, you see Tank Davis last weekend? Oh man, he hit him with the 1-2. Oh man, boom. You can have that conversation. It's okay. They're a good boxing friend. Maybe they like LeBron. Oh man, you see LeBron, man, he dunked. He did a 360 windmill between the legs. Man, I never seen anybody do that. That's a good conversation for that person. When you go another layer, I always say layers. I say we all talking, thinking layers. When you start peeling back layers and you get to a layer where they cannot comprehend, they do not understand, and they cannot add any value to that conversation, you will see how fast that conversation go back to, man, did you see uh listen, bro, I ain't talking about what I seen. I'm talking about what I see for myself. It's a different conversation, right? But you got to know that this is the last time I'm having that conversation with this person. That's it. I'm not gonna have that conversation with you no more. We can talk about Tank Davis again in a few weeks. You know what I mean? That's all on you. Right? It's all on you. You cannot change a person. You're not gonna make them feel any more motivated than they are. And like I said, a lot of times a person not motivating you because they're not motivated. They're not inspiring you because they're not inspired. They're not pushing you because they're not pushing themselves. You cannot expect juice out of turnip. It's just impossible. You have
Yeah.
to know who you're dealing with at all times. That's why we have meetings like this and conversations like this. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've had even better conversations with AI over the past 6 months. I'm just telling you the God honest truth. I've asked AI, look, this is what I'm thinking about. What you think? And AI might say, hey, this will work if this and that and that. And AI give you some good feedback. Trust me, try it. And go upgrade your account. It'd be the best $20 you ever spent in life. You got a whole friend in your pocket. Siri probably answer better questions than some of your friends. Alexa, they probably motivate you better than some of your friends. Right? Anybody else with some more input? Questions, anything?
So I had a thought that I think one of the most important things and that can serve as a litmus test is sharing your vision, whether it's an elevator speech or it's a full, complete dissertation. And you can begin to weed and seed out individuals that can either help your vision or can't be a part of your vision. That's whether they're in your inner circle or an extended circle.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, the entrepreneur, particularly in a certain stage, believes that everyone's like an opponent. It's me against them. I don't believe that that's the proper mentality. There are many circles to the entrepreneurial life. There's the business circle, social circle. There's a financial circle, literally circles, right? That encapsulate everything that's within that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spiritual circle. There's a physical circle. All these circles are not always individualized. They're not by themselves in their own bubble. Sometimes those circles merge. It's difficult to merge a personal social circle where you're in a relationship, etc., with a significant other, and a financial business circle. But there are times when you have this beautiful caveat where they kind of come together. They don't completely align, right? But they lap over one another. And within that lap is where you find the definition of cohesion, leadership, followership, directives, where you can share information, receive information, you can delegate responsibilities, but it takes a keen leader to understand when those circles have merged, have lapsed over one another and not eclipsed, right? The circle it has an eclipse, but they're merging. And in that merger is where you find that sweet spot. And you got to be discernful enough when you're in that sweet spot because it's a window. It's a window of time. It's an opportunity. Wise man once said, chance and opportunity comes to every man. So you got to take that chance and that opportunity to make it profitable and to monetize it. I think sometimes we as entrepreneurs get too emotional when we need to be more logical in our approach towards seeking our goals. And then also making sure that we're using our time wisely and using our people resources wisely. Again, that's another level of discernment. You got to know who is in their circle, what they're capable of, what their financial intelligence is, what their emotional intelligence is, what their sphere of influence is, to figure out how they can help you. And then when you press that tab and it drops down, you look at it just like you would on a computer screen, but it's in your mind. You look at it to see if it's beneficial. The other thing is, I was listening to Carl. Carl and I are in the same exact industry. I do commercial refrigeration, and I'm based out of Houston. I've been in business for 18 years, but I've been an entrepreneur virtually all of my life. My grandfather gave me my first business when I was like 11 or 12, lawn care business. I'm from Florida, so I also had a mango business. I was selling mangoes. I had lawn care, mango business, car wash business as a young man, as a kid. So I've been making money and doing entrepreneurial things all my life. And my grandfather gave me that idea. I told my grandmother at 12 years old, 13 years old, I believe, maybe 14, said one day I'm going to be a millionaire. So we're doing it. You have to have that why. Why do I want to be a millionaire? Why have I always had this mindset? Because peripherally, I look at my family and I want to be a blessing to them. It's all about me. So I know that I was alluding to the fact that you have to have systems in place for growth, to scale, call it scaling business, scale yourself. Becoming expert, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's the best thing you can do, is to dominate your craft. But then after you've dominated your craft, you got to come out of the mom and pop shop and look to duplicate yourself, to look for the resources in others. If you're not good at administration, get an administrative assistant. You're not good at management, get a management assistant. You're not good at finance, financial assistant. Not good at whatever you're not good at. You know, the wise man looks to outsource that source and to upscale themselves and to duplicate themselves. And the most important thing is to have systems in place so that if you're not there, someone can step in and do exactly what you do, verbatim, per quoted. You got to have your vision written out. It has to be your mode of operandi, your standard operating procedures have to be clear and distinct. Oftentimes we get frustrated or fearful. People become fearful because they don't know. Sometimes people become frustrated because they don't have a system to guide, like a railroad.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of frustrating when you got a train and you've laid some tracks, but you haven't laid tracks to the complete destination, but you want to go there, and you're riding at about 200 miles an hour, and you know you haven't laid that rail out, and you're approaching about another 3, 4, 5 miles, or you know you're going to run out of rail. Yeah, you're going to be panicked because you got all these ideas and dreams and goals packaged right behind you as you're driving along, and you also have the responsibility of your family, responsibility of other people's family, and you haven't sat down and taken time enough to map out your direction, to write your vision out, to be able to articulate it, to do an elevator speech or to do a grand presentation. You haven't polished yourself. So we as entrepreneurs, whether take not just time to figure out how to make money, but time to figure out how to make money while we are standing still, or while we're asleep, or while we're vacationing, or while we're not at the helm of the driving force that does that. So oftentimes we want to be at the cashier, right? We want to be the cashier right there at the register, counting every product, taking every order, giving change back, and smiling at every customer. You got to pull back from that. Put someone who can run a register. You got to work on the business opposed to completely working in the business, and that's really a part of the frustration that we as entrepreneurs, no matter what your year is, no matter how long you've been there, how short time you've been doing what you're doing, that's a part of the frustration. So AI, as great leader of this discussion, alluded to, it's a system. You put an idea in, it spits out possibilities that you can do. So we need to begin to put systems in place. I reiterate this, that if you could just plug someone in who had the necessary qualifications and the learning ability, put them in a system, they understand, they read, they understand, they comprehend what the day-to-day chores are, how to follow those out, whether it be phone calls, whether it be orders, whether it be um, technical service, or whether it be intellectual properties. There has to be systems in place that if you were not there, and that's moving you up to a true CEO position, a true CEO level, where you're actually working on the business, looking at the business on an aerial, from an aerial position, opposed to looking at the business from a linear position. And once you get to that aerial position where you're looking onto the business and into the business, now you're working on the business and you're managing the people resources, the financial resources, and the physical resources. If you can't do that, you'll never reach the apex. You'll never reach the heights. You'll never reach the luxury or the pleasure of really enjoying the fruit of your labor. You'll work for the next 10 years because you do not have the necessary systems, administrative systems in place. And that's what big companies do. That's why you have KFC has one standard of burger. They got one burger, one type of meat, one type of bun, one type of fry, one type of register, one type of logo, one type, one. And if you look at companies like Chick-fil-A, every person I see working at Chick-fil-A to me is one kind of person. No matter when you speak to them, no matter what they look like, whether they're tall, small, dark, heavy, thin, they're one type of person because they have a hiring method. They hire a certain kind of personality, a certain type of duality, of duplicity. They have a certain type of person that has a certain type of work ethic. They've already did the research, and that's what they look for, right? They buy their product from a certain place. They present it in a certain way. It's packaged with a certain packaging. All the uniforms are the same. This is that oneness, that silhouette that runs through their business. And you know, when you go to Chick-fil-A in San Diego or you go to Chick-fil-A in Moscow, you're going to get the same kind of service, same taste in the food, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the kind of service and quality that you got to begin to deliver to your prospective clients and customers. Thank you for listening.
Agreed. And just to touch on what he said, a lot of us, we avoid systems and I did it for a while. Like I literally avoided it until I started hiring virtual assistants and different people. And then I realized, like, man, I spend so much time telling them what to do where I can literally, I got to go on a day and record something. I said, look, I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to record myself doing it so you can look at it even if after today or whatever, like I'm gonna record myself. It was about posting a blog. I was like, I'm gonna record myself doing it so the exact way I want it done. We don't have to go through this. And as I record it, I can talk and I can use the audio, transcribe the audio, and I can give the audio to AI and say, I want a SOP from this audio. I want you to make a SOP from this audio of me talking him through how I'm making this blog, right? So this is how we have to think as entrepreneurs, not I'm a hustle, I'm a hustle, I'm a hustle. You have to get out of that because you only have 24 hours in a day. And trust me, you can only sleep so long where you got a whole bunch to do. You sleep bad and then you wake up with after bad sleep and you're not as productive as you should be. So you have to get the business out of your hands, as Brother King Leonard said, y'all. You want to get your business out your hand. That should be a goal. That was my goal for this year, actually, was to get as much of the business. If anybody have had clarity calls with me, I'll talk about it all the time. Like I was doing so much because I know how to do websites. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I still do because I like to stay up on what's, the latest stuff, but I'm not putting the pressure on myself to do everything over and over. I just did a website for Brother Milton. I went in there and cleaned it up, to my liking after my VAs, both of them touched it. And I was like, okay, this is decent. Let me go in here and I still went in and put my little pat on it. But I did not have to build that website from scratch. We duplicated this website. I did not have to duplicate that website from scratch myself, right? Because I have a more specialized knowledge that I need to use for something else. I had to make content over the last couple of weeks. I had to put a new ad together for a new funnel, right? So there was things that I had to do personally that I did not need to be spending hours duplicating a website. Right? That's what we have to let, like he just explained. You gotta get your hands off of everything, or you're gonna drive yourself crazy in your business. In your business, not on your business, right? In your business, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Now, it's something that just you can do. It's only you can do it. You're needed for that in your business. That should be what you focus on day to day, what you're needed for. I can have AI make content. It ain't my thing. I need to make content. I'm in front of a camera. On last I got my webcam and different things that I use, and I'm in front of that, and I want to make sure I'm making that content because I'm needed for that. I'm not needed to make a website from scratch or to duplicate a website or whatever. I can come through and take a couple hours after they done and say, okay, let me double check, make sure everything good. Okay, everything is good. Boom. Right? Where would have took me 12 hours of my time, it only took me about 45 minutes to an hour to go through and just double check everything. Okay, it's good. Boom, boom, everything good. Right? That's how we gotta think. We think in systems and processes. Right? Anybody want to touch on that or anything else? It's going. Oh, it's one. I usually get out of here between 1 and 1:30. We ain't gonna hold everybody up if y'all don't
I
have.
want to add one last thing before I take off too. Sometimes it takes years to develop um, a people resource, right? In my case, I've got a 23-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me 23 years to develop him,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's my people resource. That's a part of my people resource.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a daughter that's 25. It's taken me 25 years to develop her. I have another son that's 17. He'll be 18 this year. It's taken me almost 18 years to develop him. My daughter's in school for business management, right? She graduates from TSU in about a year, right? My son, he's in HVAC school. He graduated for business administration last year. Now he's in HVAC school, which has taken another 11 months for him to graduate. My youngest son is going to school for engineering. So he'll come back to me in 5 years. So my plan is to retire in 5 years. So I've developed these people resources that I can trust, that know me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm creating with that. With that being said, my plan was to create generational wealth, right? So I didn't necessarily. I've been working the business myself while taking care of my children. I'm a single father. While taking care of them, so holding the overhead down, holding the business growth down to be in place for them because we know that our children need us, right? More than we need to go make money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So at some point you can transition that as they take their wings. So now they're taking their wings, and I'm a little more free now to work on the business.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also placed in them the necessaries to understand this is yours, this is ours, right? So they're going to come back to me. My son's working with me now. He's in school and he's super, super smart. My daughter, she's going to come to me in maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Then my other son will come to me in 5. But my point is, we've got to develop those people resources, whether it be direct relatives or people who who will buy into our vision, right? And of course, their gain is to have employment and take care of their families. So you got to have something to offer, and you got to have a system to develop those people and train them, right, to get them ready for that next leg of your journey. Because you have a goal too. You want to make money and someday retire and or sell your business or whatever it is. You got to have a why. My why was to create generational wealth and to be in a position where um, socially, financial was the generational wealth. Socially, it was to have the peace of mind that my children are in a good position, and that makes me feel good. got to have a feel good in there, right? And also the business part was to make money. So, and of course, God is I'm thankful for Him to bless me with the idea and the energy and the inspiration to do it. So, those are the things that I want to just share with the group. You've got to have develop people resources that you can. And I'm talking right now. The subject is basically delegation. Got to be able to delegate to someone who will respond in a timely manner. Right? They need to handle business. That's pretty much it.
Okay, I can follow up to that. So definitely it is a blessing for you to have found that people built that people team, because I'm in a lot of networking events on a regular basis, and the conversations are totally the opposite when it comes to, definitely family, right? But I can honestly say that I did bring my kids up working right beside me. Both of them definitely provide the same services I do. They both see and help to start not just this business, but my first business. And they all, oh gosh, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then they all decided to go their own route. And they all are college graduates. One of them is in the Air Force. One of them went to the Army. And the baby boy, of course, he is still in college. And that was the college coach calling me just now. But however, what I say all that to say that no matter how much you have that intention of building a people team, the culture and the times that we're living in has made that difficult. But
I, I,
fortunately, AI, I know, I mean, we're going to have our different perspectives on it because, like, you're a single father, I'm a single mom. So we're going to have different perspectives.
can I say
Um,
something very quick? Can I say something?
but no,
Wait, can
I
I
just
say
want to
something?
finish real quick because
Mhm,
I'm actually
mhm,
working. I just wanted to chime in and say that those things are definitely not a given. You're definitely blessed. And I want to say congratulations to you to have that people circle that is a bond or close to you, but definitely building that team. Like JP said, he has better conversation with AI. I work with youth, I mentor youth in my salon, and I've even offered them an opportunity to partner and let's go into business together to open up a salon suite. Let's do this. Let's sit down, and they see the money that I make. They know the opportunity and assets that I have. It's just not a given. That's all I'm saying. It's not a given, and I don't want it to come across as such because some people are blessed, like yourself, to have access to and to actually be fortunate enough to already have built that. But that definitely is a process. And of course, the intent should always be delegation. But like JP also said, I also read the book, The Who Not How. The Who Not How book motivated me in so many ways, but yet it's still on this journey, it has still been a challenge. I have just alone, this is 2025 second quarter. I have already went through, I'm on my now, I just hired another personal assistant because I can't only work with a virtual assistant in my business. I need a physical assistant that could travel, that has a number of requirements, but I'm now on my third one in the process of trying to find the proper who, not how, in the process of trying to build that team that you're speaking of. It's definitely not a given. It's hard out here. And I actually have mentees that speak to AI every day, just as JP does, in reference to getting feedback, getting solutions to their problems. Because now that's what I'm trying to explain. The culture is so different now. And it used to be to where, hey, I look at so many different cultures as well and see how they bring their families up. And I tried to mimic that, being a mother of four, a single mom of four. So both of my sons, they both cut hair. They're all creatives. Both of my daughters they styled my hair, their hair. We did hair. This is my second salon, but they then decided that they wanted to partake in other careers indirectly, and not aligned with this business, but they do still kind of use it as a hustle. But ultimately, they will follow through at some point if this is the multi-billion business that I build and they are left with it. So I don't say that they will never do it. It's just that no matter what your intent is, when it comes down to building a people team and delegation, sometimes that process is lengthy, it's costly, and it's not as easy for everybody as God has blessed you to be in it. And even if that's your heart and intent, it's just not always that way. And that's all I wanted to say. Not to say that you're wrong or anything. I'm totally in agreement because I'm an entrepreneur. And of course, the goals as entrepreneurs is to always become less involved in their businesses as they get older and things supposedly get better. So, yeah, I just wanted to chime in and say that. But definitely hats off to you. And I look forward to speaking with you in 5 years as your business is off the ground and your family business is going in the right direction, because we need that in our community and in our culture more so than not, because it's everywhere else.
So here's what I wanted to say, right? So I'm going to share something with you that's kind of personal and make it brief and short. If you had a powerful financial consultant that could sit down with you and your children, you guys are already worth $1 million. You could be loaned $1 million, $250,000 a piece. I mean, like that. If your credit is above 600, above right at 700, if it's not, you work to get it. Everyone there. These are processes that can happen for you. Like this could happen like in 6 months. You could be a millionaire in 6 months. Your whole family could be a millionaire in 6 months. If you and they could still be working, doing what they're doing, but you could buy a shopping plaza and do whatever. I know it sounds like, oh wow, but it really happened. You got the resources. Everybody knows what they're doing. They're specialized within the beauty industry. You got barbers, you got beauticians, barbers, and whatever. So you got that. You got the expertise. You just need a powerful business coach to say, hey, you come here, you can get this, you can get this, go and get it. And then we're going to come back and sit down and we're going to see what we're going to do with it. Long story short, here's my personal reference to what I'm saying to you. My mindset is different because I don't have, and hear my heart more than my words. What I say, I'm not pessimistic, I'm optimistic, and I'm very logical, right? And very spiritual. When I'm spiritual means I believe in God, Christ. I'm that person. I got the Holy Ghost living in me. But my point is that I 35 years ago, I was facing a life sentence in prison. Right. So that language that you're speaking, I don't understand it. I just know to get up, believe God, go get it. Irregardless of my culture, irregardless of where I am, just to get up because I'm free and go get it. I'm intelligent, absorb it. I'm confident, step to it. So I was facing a life sentence. I spent 6 years in prison. I learned to read, write, and speak Spanish. I taught myself the phonics. I taught myself algebra. I read the dictionary. I read the Bible. I went on to college in prison, got my high school diploma. I got a business degree in prison. In 6 years, I did all that. And gave my life to Christ and got filled with the Holy Ghost. Came home married for 19 years, raised children. So I was fired from a job. And I said to myself 18 years ago, I never worked for anyone else. Like never. The same job that fired me, I went to the people who called my job. It was a Chick-fil-A. They called my job and had me fired. The owner never seen me. I went to that same location, contracted in my suit with my tie, my briefcase, my computer, and landed my first 2 contracts under the same person who called, who didn't know me anonymously, called and had me fired. He was my customer for 5 years. I made a lot of money on him. So my mindset is not, I don't care about what everyone else is doing. I can't hear it because God is with me. I have a felony. I'm a licensed air conditioning refrigeration contractor. I asked my mother before she passed away. I said, Mom, you think they're giving my license? She said, of course they will. God is with you. Leonard, God is with you. I had another guy who was working with, I had contracts all over without my license. I was feeding him money in his business. He was already a contractor. I said, let's go into business together. His wife said, no. I'm like, dude, I'm feeding your family. I'm giving you money. I'm making money. So she called me up and said, well, Leonard, it wasn't him that said that, you guys can't go in business together. It was me. I said, great, fine. I said, I'm sitting here in my office right now in my house, and I take the state test tomorrow. I appreciate you calling me. So it's that attitude. It's not the war is me. It's like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get up and go get it.
It make a
So
big
you have to
difference.
have that mind, irregardless of who's around you or what they're saying or doing. You got to pray and ask God. See, God, just like with AI, you talk to AI, AI talks back to you, right? You feed information in, it feeds back to you. It's an upload and a download. I believe that if you get somewhere with God and you just talk to him like, God, download me some information. When I was in prison, I asked God to open my mind up. I had dropped out of high school. I was a kingpin drug dealer facing 25 years to life, right? I have no war as me. I was shot down the street like a dog with the Mac 10. So I know how to get up and get myself somewhere and make something happen. When I was shot, I'm sharing with you for some maybe you need some inspiration. I was shot in a parking lot of a inner city little grocery store. I got up and put one finger in one hole and the other finger in the other hole and limped into a funeral home and had them call the paramedics to come and get me off the floor. So I know that God can do anything. It's not about what people are doing around you. God has the power to give you the ideas to get wealth, and he will use people around you to make sure that you get to where you're going. I've had beacons of light of people in my life. Men, my mentor, only reason I'm in this business is because a man had confidence enough in me to put me through school for 4 years. He saw me. Well, I met him through a mutual friend. I went to work for him. There's so much that I can share with you, sister, that it's amazing. 2 years out of prison, I was in corporate America as a GM, general manager for Sodexo Marriott. GM, running my own food board service at a college, at a A1 college. I ran the whole cafeteria in the C-store across the way. You have the ability to change your mindset. Listen, it's not about how much money. See, we get so caught up in how much money we got. If I got $1, I'm still the same man. If I got $1 million, I'm the same man. I'm the same person. My personality is not going to change. I may know I need to get up and make something happen, but I'm not going to get all frustrated with no.
Leonardo, I'm not. I mean, the whole conversation was
No,
about
no, no. I'm sharing.
delegation.
No, listen here. I'm
It was
sharing with
about
you. I'm
delegation
sharing.
and building the
Right. And
people's teams.
I'm
And
telling
that's
you. I'm
all
telling
I
you that there are
spoke
people.
on. I just wanted people
Yeah.
on the call. Like,
Uh-huh.
yes, your story is very
Uh-huh.
inspirational. It
Right.
is. But we
Right.
were
Allow
just
me. Allow
talking
me to
about
finish. I allowed you to
delegation.
finish. Allow
I
me to
don't
finish.
want you to
Allow me to
think
finish.
that
I
I was
allowed you to
coming
finish.
at you
Allow me
No,
to
no,
or
no, no,
finish.
that
I
no,
I'm
allowed you to finish.
negative.
no,
Allow
no.
me to
No,
finish. Allow
Listen,
me to
no.
finish.
I'm right here, y'all. It really wasn't. It really wasn't that he was saying you was negative. He
Yeah,
touching
he's
on
like, I
something.
need to change my mindset.
No, no,
Like,
no, no,
what?
no. He touching on something. He touching on something. He
So
went
allow me to
he
finish.
went
Allow me
there.
to finish.
Yeah, he
Allow me
went
to
there a
finish.
little bit.
Allow me to finish. So I changed my mindset. Right. It was me. I changed. I took a close inventory of myself, and I didn't depend on anyone around me, whether they were positive or negative. I was in a marriage for 19 years. I'm just sharing with you. My wife wasn't the best. My ex-wife wasn't the best supporter. When things got tough, she told me, "You need to go get a job. Leave that business alone." For me, there's no recourse. I mean, I'm talking about broke, mortgage due, 2 months behind.
Mm.
But God showed up for me in one job and solved all those problems. And he does it over and over and over again. So I'm just sharing with you. And the other thing, as a man, I could have ran away from my responsibilities for my children when I divorced. I moved down the street, like 3 minutes away from the house that I built from the ground up, into an apartment building, because I wanted to be close to my children, to be accountable, so that they would know, hey, you're still safe. Papa's still here. I still got you. So my point is, it's just about a mindset. So now my kids came to me after 1 year. They live with me. I raised them all the way up. Last 10 years, I raised them, set them off to college, set them off to their places, in their apartments, their cars. And I waited all that time. Listen, I hadn't even had a car. I hadn't bought a car for myself since 1985. When I got married, I bought my wife cars and I bought my kids cars. But 3 years ago, I finally bought myself a car. Bought myself a brand new Corvette. I've been buying service trucks, of course, since I've been working. But my point is that I had a mindset shift. And I just want to say this before I go. I was always looking for, and the other thing I just want to say to the men and to the women, you got to have a good partner with you. You got to have someone in your life that believes in you. Your husband, your wife. I recently met someone that, like you say, you're going to check on me in 5 years, check on me. Check on me. Check on me.
I love it, y'all. I just
I'm
want
Leonard Butler. I'm God's child, Leonard Butler on Facebook. Check on me, and you're going to see. I just met someone recently that I know she's my wife. We talked. I vetted her because I got wisdom now. I'm not a young dude. I'm 57 years old. I look young. I'm 57. I'm 20. I'm 30. I'm 40. I'm 50, and I'm almost 60. I've been to the street. I've been in the corporate world. I serve the devil, and I serve God. So it's time now for us to capitalize on the good and the evil that's happening in our life. The people who taught us lessons and ones who gave us blessings. It's time to capitalize now and to focus on the light and just let God do what he's going to do. I believe I'm talking to millionaires today, multimillionaires, kingdom finances, and those who leave generational wealth for their children's children. That's what I'm talking to right now. I'm one of them. I'm amongst my own. I'm not with the chicken. I'm not with the hens. I'm with the eagles right now. And it's time for us to look up, take an aerial view, take courage, and to move. I'll leave you with this lastly. My mentor put me through school for 4 years, paid my entire tuition. That was in 2000 to 2004. I graduated top of my class. He and his wife came like a father and a mother to me. He passed away 2 years ago. I paid for his funeral. Last year, Mom called me and said, I'm about to lose a house. I don't, how much you need? What do you need? It didn't matter how much it was, because guess what? Because of their seed that they sowed into me, it blessed my life. That one seed 25 years ago blessed my life, turned my life. I didn't have to look to anyone to take care of me because they gave me a skill set to take care of myself. So I'm proud to say, one, I'm a child of God. I'm your brother and your friend, and we're all millionaires here today. 5 years, let's get it. Let's make it happen. No excuses. Keep the. I'm writing a book. It's called 10 Keys to Jailbreak Your Mind. The first key is self-image. The second key is mind the words that come out of your mouth, because they're bridges to take you to your destination. I'm done.
I love it. I love it. And I wasn't trying to have Priscilla. I talked to her. She and I talked. Dang, was it last night? Was it last night? Did we talk last night, or maybe the night before? She and I talk kind of regularly. So I just wanted her to hear you out a little bit, because I fully believe in the way that you expressed that. I believe that it's power in the tongue, it's power in how you look at things, and even if you run across certain waves or whatever, you have to find the positive, and um you have to extract the lesson sometime in the losses. Sometimes it can be the worst. Like it could be the like you said, you can be behind, you can lose a relationship, you can do this, and you have to find what is in this storm that it is meant for me to take out of this. So you sometimes you got to search deep, far, wide, and it's harder. It might not be on the surface. You can be going through something and you don't have a clue. You like, man, what? It can't be something I gotta take, and you gotta look for it. Like, man, I have to take something out of this. And sometimes we gotta do that. And and I understood where you was coming from because I heard both conversations. I heard both of y'all sides, so I understood where you was coming from as far as where Priscilla was saying that you was blessed to be able to. No, 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 you not. He's saying that you blessed too. You blessed too. You have to always look at your blessings the same way and say, okay, maybe my kids didn't do what I wanted them to do, but you may have a mentor that you can put in that position, or a mentee. I apologize. You have a mentee you can put in that position. I understood where you was coming from, and it just the wires got crossed a little bit. So I did understand you wasn't trying to shoot at her, Mr. Leonard. No, I understood where you were coming from. Like, look, you got somebody you can put in there. It may not be the person you want. You may have wanted your son or your daughter to be there, but you may have somebody you can whip up a little bit and take them under your wing. And like you say, you may have to pay for them to go to school like somebody paid for you to go to school. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at it from, okay, they didn't do what I needed. Look at it. Who is available and willing to do what I need, and let me invest in them, and let me pour into them what they need to be what I need. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Am I wrong? That's pretty much where you were coming from, right?
That's 100%. Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah,
I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I
that's
felt where you were coming
100%.
from. Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt where you were
My,
coming
my
from.
mentor, he's dead and gone,
Yeah.
but his wife is still receiving the blessings from my heart. He already did his part. He mentored me. They mentored me. They loved on me. So guess what? She ain't got to worry about nothing. Like never. Like
We
like
already
never ever.
and that's love, and that's how we have to be. I found myself over the past few years getting to this, so I do coaching too, and that's what I tell people all the time, is it's a mindset. Is literally a mind. Everything start with your mindset. If you talk negative to yourself, or you allow people to talk negative to you, then you fighting from behind. You fighting from behind. It's a mindset. And if something's not working out for me, I go and I check my mindset is what I deal with first. When something is not working out the way I wanted to, I said, what am I doing mentally that's allowing whatever that storm is to that cloud to come over me? You know what I'm saying? And I check myself. And sometimes I check myself publicly. I might take some ownership to something publicly. And sometimes I check myself privately, and I may need a minute. Let me read up a little bit. Let me do a little something and check my mental, because I believe that everything starts mental. Your mind plants the seeds. If it's not working out, it's somewhere mentally. Even if I make a mistake, somebody can do me wrong. And I can say, what did I do mentally that allowed that person to do that to me? Because I can only take ownership for that. I can't take ownership for somebody being a slime ball, running off with the money, doing whatever they doing. All I can say is, what was I doing mentally that allowed this person to take advantage of me? Right? That's all I can change is me. You know what I'm saying? So I fully understand where you were coming from. If Priscilla, you want to touch on something before we get out of here. Carl been kind of quiet. I ain't gonna be on here too long. We did this today. This was a good one. If everybody good, y'all, we can get off of here. I talked to some of y'all one on one, so it's all good. Y'all good? Last call, y'all. All right. Y'all have a good week. I do this every week on Wednesday. If I can't make it, I usually send out a text or something to let y'all know I can't make it. But I really try to make this. I was sick on like 2 or 3 Wednesdays ago. I end up doing it on Thursday. Whatever it is, I just try to get us together. And hopefully y'all left this conversation with more than y'all came in here with. And we all use it and we get through the week with it. If y'all need any assistance, y'all know where I'm at. I enjoy y'all week, y'all.